Before time began, there was an angel of light, brilliant, powerful, and highest in heaven. But something changed. A choice was made that shattered his glory and turned him into the greatest enemy. Who was Lucifer really? What caused his fall? And how does this ancient story still affect us today? All the answers are here, in this story. Keep watching to uncover the mystery that has shaped the fate of heaven, earth, and every soul.
Long before the world existed, there was a realm of unimaginable light and power, a place where beings of glory dwell close to the throne of the Almighty. Among these beings, one shone brighter than all others. His name was Lucifer, the light-bearer. How does one so full of light become cloaked in darkness? The scriptures describe him as full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Ezekiel 28:12. Blameless from the day he was created until weakness was found in him. Ezekiel 28:15. What caused this shift in a being so majestic? A voice that once praised the Creator grew proud and defiant. You said in your heart,
I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High.
Isaiah 14:13-14. This desire to exalt himself above God led to a rebellion that would change everything. Not satisfied with his own fall, Lucifer persuaded a third of the angels to join him in revolt. A great war erupted in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. Revelation 12:7. The outcome was devastating. The great dragon was hurled down to the earth. Revelation 12:9. This fall from grace did not end in the heavens. It reached the earth where the first humans walked in innocence. The ancient serpent's lie, "You will not surely die, you will be like God." Genesis 3:4-5. Brought sin and brokenness into the world, continuing the battle between light and darkness. This tragic story reveals the devastating power of pride and the ongoing struggle for the hearts of all creation. The consequences of Lucifer's fall echo throughout history, shaping the destiny of every soul. As he was cast down from the heights of heaven, the once glorious light-bearer became known by a new name, Satan, the adversary. No longer a guardian of divine truth, he became the great deceiver seeking to lead others away from the light he had lost. But why does this fallen angel continue his rebellion? What drives him still? On earth, Satan's influence grew stronger, weaving lies and temptation into the hearts of men and women. His goal was not only to disrupt the harmony between God and humanity, but to claim dominion where he had been cast out. The scriptures warn that the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. 1 John 5:19. How deep does this darkness reach? How much of the world is still held captive? Despite his power, the story does not end in despair, The battle between good and evil is a cosmic struggle with profound hope. From the moment of the first rebellion, a promise was given, a hope of restoration and victory. The ancient words speak of one who will come to crush the serpent's head, Genesis 3:15, signaling a future where light will overcome darkness. What does this promise mean for us today? How does the tragic story of Lucifer challenge or inspire our own choices? It calls each of us to be vigilant, to resist deception, and to seek the light that never fades. The journey from light to darkness is a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the greatest among us can fall if pride takes root. Yet, it also points to the power of redemption and the possibility of restoration beyond the fall. The story of Lucifer remains unfinished in this world. What role will each of us play in this ancient battle? Will we stand for truth or be swayed by the shadows? When the rebellion in heaven reached its peak, the consequences were severe and irreversible. The angel who once stood in the presence of God was forcefully removed from that exalted place. The scriptures describe this moment with vivid imagery. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Revelation 12:9. This was not a gentle fall, but a dramatic and violent expulsion. Heaven could no longer contain the pride and defiance that had taken root in Lucifer's heart. The perfect harmony was broken, and the light-bearer became a fallen figure, cast down to the realm below, the earth. What does it mean that he was hurled down? The term conveys a forceful banishment, a rejection so complete that it forever marked his place in the cosmic order. No longer part of the divine council, he was condemned to wander the earth as the adversary, the enemy of all that is good. But why the earth? Why was this the place of his exile? The earth was still pure, inhabited by the first humans, walking in innocence. By casting Satan here, the cosmic battle moved from the unseen realms to the very soil beneath humanity's feet. This banishment also marked the beginning of a new phase, Satan's war against humanity itself. His aim was clear: to corrupt, deceive, and destroy the creation God had called good. His influence will be subtle yet pervasive, turning hearts away from the truth with lies and temptation. How does this fall shape the world we live in today? How does the presence of this ancient adversary affect the choices we make every day? The earth became a battleground, a stage for the ongoing struggle between light and darkness. And while the fallen angel's power is great, it is not absolute. There remains a hope, a promise that the final victory will belong to the light. After being cast from heaven, Satan's presence on earth marked a profound turning point in the story of creation. No longer was evil a distant concept confined to the spiritual realm. It now became an active force influencing the lives of men and women. His fall was not only a punishment, but a declaration of war, an unrelenting pursuit to turn humanity away from its creator and toward destruction. But what was the nature of this war? Unlike a battle fought with weapons, this was a conflict of hearts, minds, and souls. It was a war waged through deception, temptation, and subtle lies, whispering the ears of the vulnerable. Satan's goal was to blind the world to truth and to lead people into darkness, while masquerading as a messenger of light. The Apostle Paul warned of this deception, saying that Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. How does this shape the way we discern truth from falsehood today? How careful must we be in choosing whom to trust? This ongoing spiritual battle is reflected in the brokenness around us, the pain, the injustice, the hatred that seems to saturate human history. Yet, beneath the surface of despair lies a deeper story, a story of resistance, of faith, and of hope. The scriptures assure that Satan's power is limited and temporary. He's described as a roaring lion seeking someone to devour, but one who will ultimately be defeated. The Bible foretells a time when evil will be judged and we move forever. The devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of burning sulfur. This promise invites reflection. If the enemy's defeat is certain, what does that mean for those caught in the midst of the battle now? How should this shape our lives and choices? Throughout history, countless individuals have stood against this darkness, driven by faith, courage, and love. Their stories remind us that even in the midst of spiritual warfare, light can break through. It is not only a story of judgment, but of redemption, where fallen humanity is invited back into communion with the Creator. The tragedy of Lucifer's fall is also a cautionary tale. It reveals the danger of pride, the allure of self-exaltation, and the devastating consequences when one rebels against the order of God. But it also reveals the incredible mercy of God, who continually offers a way back even to those who have strayed farthest. What lessons can be drawn from this ancient rebellion for our own lives? How can we guard our hearts against the same pitfalls? And how can we embrace the hope that shines through even the darkest chapters? The story of Lucifer is more than history. It is a living narrative that challenges us to examine the choices before us. It invites us to consider where our loyalties lie, how we resist temptation, and where we find our true identity. In this cosmic drama, the future remains unwritten. The question remains, in the face of deception and darkness, will we stand firm in the light? The fallen angel's story is woven deeply into the fabric of human experience. His influence is often invisible, working behind the scenes in ways that are not always easy to recognize. How can one discern when a choice is truly free and when it is swayed by subtle whispers of deceit? The scriptures warn that the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 4. This raises a profound question. How often do unseen forces shape our thoughts and decisions without us even realizing it? Are the struggles we face daily just random hardships, or are they part of a larger spiritual conflict? Yet, even in this unseen battle, there is an invitation to awaken to a deeper reality. What if the path to freedom begins with understanding this unseen war? What if recognizing the adversary's tactics is the first step toward breaking free? Throughout history, many have sensed this invisible conflict and responded with courage and faith. Prophets, saints, and ordinary people alike have resisted the pull of darkness by seeking wisdom and truth. Their lives testify that though the enemy is powerful, he is not invincible. What does it mean to resist? The Bible instructs, Resist the devil and he will flee from you. James chapter 4 verse 7. But how do we resist a foe we cannot see? Is it through prayer, through knowledge, or through the choices we make every day? This ongoing battle also touches on the very nature of freedom and destiny. If the fallen angel's goal is to enslave minds and hearts, then the true victory comes when individuals reclaim their freedom through truth and faith. How does one break the chains of deception that have held humanity captive for so long? As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that this ancient conflict is not just about angels or distant cosmic events. It is about the daily struggle within each person, the battle to choose light over darkness, truth over lies, love over fear. Could it be that the greatest battlefield is within ourselves? If so, how do we prepare for such a struggle? What weapons are available to us in this unseen war? The answer lies hidden in the scriptures, in the promises made and the paths laid out. It is a call to awareness, to vigilance, and to courage. The story of Lucifer's tragic fall is a mirror reflecting both the danger of pride and the possibility of redemption. It warns us of the cost of rebellion, but also offers hope for restoration. As we ponder this ancient tale, the question lingers: will we allow ourselves to be drawn into the shadows, or will we choose to walk in the light, even when the way is difficult and the enemy relentless? This story continues through every choice, every moment of faith, and every act of love that pushes back against the darkness. This question echoes through the corridors of time and across the unseen realms where light and darkness wrestle for dominion. The story of Lucifer's fall is not merely a distant event locked in ancient history. It is a living reality that touches every soul, every heart, every choice made in the shadow of that cosmic rebellion. After his fall, Satan's strategy evolved. No longer could he approach with open defiance, for his power had been diminished by his expulsion from heaven. Instead, he became a master of deception, cloaking his lies in half-truths and disguising evil as good. The Apostle John reveals, "The whole world lies in the power of the evil one." 1 John 5:19. This suggests a pervasive influence, a shadow stretching over the earth that affects nations, cultures, and individuals alike. But what does it mean to be under such influence? Is it simply about obvious acts of evil, or does it extend deeper into the very thoughts, desires, and motivations of the human heart? How many times do we unknowingly align with the adversary, following patterns that pull us away from peace and joy? Satan's tactics are subtle and patient. He plants seeds of doubt where faith should grow, whispers lies where truth should reign, and tempts with promises that lead only to destruction. The Garden of Eden is a haunting reminder of how deception can enter even the most perfect places. Did God really say? Was the question that unraveled innocence. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. How often does doubt creep in today, disguised in clever words or flattering ideas? Yet, despite this relentless assault, the story is not one of despair. Throughout the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, there is a steady thread of hope. Hope that even the darkest night will give way to dawn. The promise first given in the garden, that the offspring of the woman would crush the serpent's head, Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, points to a victory far greater than any defeat. This victory is embodied in one who would come to the earth, born of a woman, to confront the adversary face to face. The New Testament reveals that this one was tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Through his life, death, and resurrection, the power of the fallen angel was broken. But how does this victory play out in the lives of those who live today? The cosmic battle continues, but with a new dimension, the war for human hearts. Each person becomes a battlefield where the forces of light and darkness contend. The choice is personal and profound, whether to follow the path of pride and rebellion or the path of humility and obedience. What does it mean to choose the light? How does one stand firm when the enemy is relentless and cunning? The scriptures encourage, put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. This armor includes truth, righteousness, faith, and the Word of God, a spiritual defense against deception and despair. But even with armor, the struggle can be exhausting. The enemy's attacks come in many forms: fear, temptation, discouragement, and confusion. How does one maintain hope and strength in the midst of such relentless opposition? The answer lies in connection to the source of all light and truth.
The story of Lucifer's fall invites us to seek not only understanding, but relationship, to find refuge in the one who holds all power and authority and who offers restoration to all who turn to him. This ancient story is also a call to watchfulness. The Apostle Peter warns, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour." 1 Peter 5:8. What does it mean to be alert in a world filled with distractions and false promises? How can vigilance become a daily practice? And what about those who have already fallen under the enemy's influence? Is there hope for restoration, or is the fall final and irreversible? The story of Lucifer shows the devastating consequences of rebellion. But the greatest story reveals God's unfailing mercy and grace extended even to the lost. Throughout history, countless testimonies reveal that no one is beyond the reach of redemption. From the depths of despair to the heights of transformation, lives have been changed by embracing the light and rejecting the darkness. As this story unfolds, it challenges each reader to reflect. What shadows still linger in my heart? What lies have I accepted as truth? And what steps can I take to walk more fully in the light? The tragic fall of Lucifer is a warning, a mystery, and a message of hope all at once. It invites a deeper examination of the unseen forces that shape our world and an invitation to live with eyes wide open in the ongoing battle between good and evil. The final chapters are still being written, not in some distant realm, but in the lives of each person alive today. The question remains, in this great cosmic drama, which side will you choose? The reality of this spiritual battle is not abstract or distant. It deeply affects the lives of every person. The enemy's tactics, though cunning and persistent, are no match for the power of God working in those who trust Him. Romans 16:20 promises, "The God of peace will soon crush Satan under your feet." This is not just a future hope, but a present reality for those who stand firm in faith. The power to resist evil comes from God's Spirit dwelling within, empowering believers to overcome temptations and lies.